Hey everyone, Bryan Zayne here with my predictions for the inaugural Stomping Grounds pay-per-view this Sunday, brought to us by WWE. Let's get things started right away with the tag team match of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Xavier Woods and Big E of the New Day. We've been seeing Kevin and Sami get all up in the business of the New Day for the last several weeks now, and every time Kevin and Sami have been on the losing end, I'm pretty sure it's been every time, so that makes me think that in this situation, Kevin and Sami will finally get the win over two-thirds of the New Day and just try and bring some credibility back to these guys, because lately they have not been looking that good really on either Raw or SmackDown. One of the more recently signed matches of the show sees Daniel Bryan and Rowan defended the SmackDown tag titles against Heavy Machinery. You know, in the go-home week, Daniel did not do Tucker and Otis a whole lot of credit while he was on commentary for their match against the B team, saying they treat everything like a joke. These are joke wrestlers, and it's more emblematic when they are when they're emulating the Bushwhackers as they make their way to the ring. I mean, how much more on the nose can you possibly get with that? That being said, it is Tucker and Otis's biggest test to date, their biggest match since coming to the main roster. Seems a bit rushed considering they were so obscure for several weeks leading up to this point, this feud, but now we've got this match here. I think that Tucker and Otis will look good in defeat. I think Daniel and Rowan will still retain the tag team championships because there's really no one right now on SmackDown who I think is ready to knock them off their perch just yet, unless we bring the New Day back into tag title contention, which is totally possible, but I think we need to maybe hold off on that for a little bit. Speaking of recently announced matches, this one was made official on Monday after that fatal five-way to open Raw, as Ricochet will challenge Samoa Joe for the U.S. Championship. Big contrast of styles here, because Samoa Joe, of course, is the heavy hitter, strikes, submissions, that's his game, with the occasional suicide dive, and Ricochet's all about the flying, all about the diving, all about those flip-de-doos. And also, with these two guys having such both indie-rific backgrounds before they got signed, I can see them pulling out a lot of the stops. Maybe not all the stops, but a lot of the stops in this particular matchup. That being said, I think Joe will retain the championship. I don't think they're ready to pull the trigger on Ricochet just yet, and I think that the last thing Samoa Joe needs right now is to drop the championship once again, even if it's under less shady pretenses than what happened at Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns taking on Drew McIntyre in a bit of a grudge match. These guys last fought one-on-one at WrestleMania in what I thought was kind of a downer of a match, if I'm being honest. But I think this one has the potential to be a bit better, because now that it's the second match, the pressure is kind of off them. I think enough time has passed and we've seen Drew really grow more as a sadistic killer of a character. And I think that, you know, with the addition, with Shane McMahon being involved now in the feud and everything, that extra wrinkle really makes things a lot more interesting. Since Roman won the match at WrestleMania, I would think it's only appropriate for Drew to finally get that win back at Stomping Grounds here against Roman, because he really needs the win. Roman, I think, is in a spot right now where he could win or lose. It doesn't really matter for his character. But Drew, I think, has not had a whole lot of high-profile wins as of late. I think he, above all else, really needs to have a good, decisive, declarative win against Roman here on Sunday. Bayley defends the SmackDown Women's Championship against Alexa Bliss, which has low-key become one of the most interesting matches to me on the card, because, like I've been saying on Who Wore It Better, we've been seeing these very subtle signs, I think, of possibly a heel turn for Bayley, where Alexa keeps lobbing these accusations against her for being this terrible person. And up until recently, Bayley was never actually saying, she was never denying any of this stuff. She was kind of going, oh, that's just Alexa Bliss talking trash, but never saying, no, this ain't me. So it makes me wonder, maybe Alexa's right. Maybe we're going to see like this crazy ass double turn, like the level of Austin and Bret Hart. You know, can you imagine the internet exploding over something like this happening? I don't know if we're going to get it Sunday, but I do think we're going to get that in the future. That being said, who's going to win this matchup? My gut tells me Alexa Bliss is going to win, because that's just the history of their feud over the last several years. But there's a part of me that also, if we want to maybe help build up more of this kind of heel turn that might be happening with Bayley, and you know, I'm pure speculation, but I mean, it could happen. If that's to happen, I think that Bayley should win and retain the championship, just to really stick it to Alexa and really break Nikki Cross's heart a little bit more. I mean, I think Nikki's going to be involved, but I think it's going to end up, she's going to getting involved, maybe accidentally costing Alexa the match or something, and Bayley will retain the championship. That's my hope, at least. Over on the Raw side, Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. This is a feud that began all the way back at Money in the Bank. Bank, and since then has progressively ramped up more and more, and I think they actually had a pretty good crescendo when they had their face-to-face this past Monday on Raw. That being said, I don't know if Lacey's quite ready to take the mantle of Women's Champion just yet. I hope this is going to be a better match than, say, the last Lacey Evans match I saw, which was against Charlotte, which was a total dud, but this one's face versus heel, so it's going to be much more clearly defined. So I think that Becky is going to win once again. Becky is someone who I think really needs like a big decisive win because it was 50-50 at Money in the Bank, and since WrestleMania I feel she's lost a lot of her momentum. They've really kind of pumped the brakes on like super mega push for Becky Lynch after Mania when she was in the main event. So I think her winning against Lacey here would be a nice addition to her stats, and I think it would, you know, add more credibility to the Raw Women's Championship right now. Lacey can get that belt another time, but Stomping Grounds ain't it. In a steel cage match, probably the only real stipulation match the entire card on Sunday, Kofi Kingston defends the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a rematch from Super Showdown. I think this is going to be another really great match from these two guys. I think that, you know, these guys have such a great, rich history together as competitors, and to their credit, they have brought that history up in past promos. I think that this is going to be great. The addition of the steel cage match, I think, will only add to the excitement of their action, and really, I think you flip a coin with who's going to win this one, because I could see them putting the belt on Dolph Ziggler, finally pulling the trigger on that and kind of having him justified as this like tragic figure where it's like, I've been doing all this cool stuff, it should be me as the champion. I could see them finally pulling the trigger on Dolph here. On the other hand, I also see them kind of riding Kofi Kingston as champion, maybe all the way to SummerSlam at least. I don't see them really dropping Kofi as champ anytime soon. I think he's been earning his keep as champion. I think he's been pushed very well as champion. He's been like not been booked as an afterthought or a jobber, which is really great and uplifting. So I think that, you know, if I had to pick one, I think Kofi is going to retain this the title in this matchup. It's going to be probably a contender for match of the night, in my opinion. In what I'm guessing is the main event, Seth Rollins defends the Universal Championship against Baron Corbin, and the big question is, in a lot of people's minds, not who's going to win between the two of these guys, but rather, who's the guest referee going to be? We were told last week that Baron's going to have a guest referee, and we've seen this revolving door of people trying to be referees, and Seth and his trusty chair just beating the bejesus out of those guys. So really, I don't think anyone we've seen on TV so far is going to be the referee. And honestly, I'm kind of echoing the sentiment of a lot of people right now, I don't see anyone from a storyline perspective who could logically be the guest referee except Boombox Brock. Brock Lesnar, Money in the Bank winner, being the guest referee here, which instantly makes things more interesting. It also makes Baron Corbin look like a chump because like, there's no way he's winning this damn thing. But I just imagine that, you know, Brock is going to be involved as the referee, and there's going to be a lot of tension and stuff. I don't see Brock cashing in just yet, though. I mean, I would see Seth still winning the match and still beating Baron Corbin. Well, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where it really could be any way. You could see Baron winning it and maybe doing this kind of big shocking swerve thing to really piss off fans and everything. But then again, I see Seth winning and maybe like Brock kind of like gets into his head and maybe teases, maybe I'll cash in right now, maybe I won't. That kind of, you don't know when or where he's going to strike, like Paul Heyman said in the Go Home show this week on Raw. So really, I mean, if my gut's telling me Seth is going to find some way to retain with Brock Lesnar as the referee. That is my pick for the combination of things to happen. And I know what I've been predicting so far is a lot of no title changes, but that's just kind of my, again, these are my gut feelings right now. But let me know what you think. Offer up your picks for Stomping Grounds in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the other side Monday morning with my Stomping Grounds review. I'm Bryan Zane, and I'll see you next time.